Today, we're diving deep into a story that many people overlook, a coin so common in appearance, you might toss it in a jar and forget about it. But what if I told you that one specific version of this everyday penny, the 1991 Lincoln 1-cent penny with no mint mark, could be hiding in your change, your drawer, or your old coin collection and could be worth a small fortune? That's right. A coin that most people would never glance twice at could be your golden ticket. A penny that cost just 1 cent to use now commands the kind of price tag you'd expect from rare silver dollars or gold pieces. We're talking about a coin with a value so astonishing, it has collectors buzzing, dealers hunting, and everyday people checking their pocket change in hopes of striking copper gold. So grab your magnifying glass, empty out that piggy bank, and get comfortable, because this is the extraordinary story of the 1991 no mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny, how it came to be, why it's so special, and why someone might just pay you tens of thousands of dollars for it. Let's start from the very beginning. To truly understand the hidden value of this coin, we need to step back into the rich history of the Lincoln cent, a coin that's not just currency, but a piece of American heritage. First minted in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln, the Lincoln penny has long been one of the most recognized and widely used coins in the United States. With Lincoln's stern yet noble profile on the obverse and various designs over the years on the reverse, from the wheat ears to the Lincoln Memorial, this coin has witnessed over a century of American life, change, and history. By the time 1991 rolled around, the Lincoln cent had already gone through several transitions. The wheat reverse design had been replaced by the Lincoln Memorial in 1959. In 1982, the coin's composition was changed from 95% copper to a copper-plated zinc, primarily due to rising copper prices. But through all these changes, one thing remained consistent: the presence or absence of a mint mark. Now, let's talk about mint marks. They're tiny letters, usually just one, stamped on a coin to indicate where it was minted. For Lincoln cents, a D stands for Denver, an S stands for San Francisco, and if there's no mint mark at all, the coin was typically minted in Philadelphia. That's right, no mint mark usually means Philadelphia, usually. But here's where the 1991 penny mystery begins. In 1991, the United States Mint produced billions, yes, billions, of pennies. These coins were churned out by the millions each day in 3 locations: Denver, San Francisco, though by then it was mainly for proof coins, and Philadelphia. Most coins had their mint marks properly placed. But for reasons still debated by collectors and experts, a small batch of Lincoln pennies from 1991 appeared without any mint mark, and they didn't follow the expected rules. At first glance, this may not seem unusual. As we mentioned, Philadelphia minted coins typically didn't have mint marks at that time. But the twist here is that these specific no mint mark coins appear to have anomalies, slight errors in design, unusual luster, off-centered strikes, and in some cases, features suggesting they weren't actually minted in Philadelphia at all. One such anomaly found in certain 1991 no mint mark pennies is the double die strike. This is a famous minting error that occurs when the coin die, the metal stamp that impresses the design onto the coin, strikes the planchet, the blank piece of metal, more than once in a slightly misaligned way. This causes parts of the coin's design, especially the lettering and date, to appear doubled or blurry. On some of these rare 1991 pennies, the word Liberty, or the motto, "In God We Trust," shows signs of such doubling, creating a thrilling discovery for those who know what to look for. Another mystery is the so-called floating roof error. This refers to the top of the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse of the coin appearing disconnected from the pillars. While this kind of error can appear on other Lincoln cents too, its presence on some 1991 no mint mark pennies further adds to the confusion and excitement. Did these coins pass quality control? Were they even meant to be released? Then there's the unusual coloration and toning. Certain 1991 pennies, possibly due to environmental exposure, unusual metal mixtures, or freak oxidation reactions, have developed a striking rainbow hue or rich copper edge sheen that collectors adore. A well-preserved 1991 no mint mark penny with brilliant toning or uncirculated shine is rare enough. Combine that with errors, die variations, and the mystery of its origin, and you've got yourself a highly collectible piece. But rarity alone doesn't make a coin valuable. It's the collector demand that transforms a common penny into a legendary item. And believe me, coin collectors are passionate, borderline obsessive, about anomalies like these. Forums buzz with debates about the origins of specific 1991 penny varieties. Photos are shared. Prices are speculated. Stories are told of lucky finds in change jars, estate sales, and forgotten bank rolls. The market isn't just about rarity, it's about story, condition, uniqueness, and timing. Now let's talk condition, because this is where things start to really heat up. If you find a 1991 no mint mark Lincoln penny in average circulated condition, it may not fetch much more than face value, a few cents at most. But if you happen to stumble upon one in brilliant uncirculated condition, or better yet, one that has been professionally graded by PCGS or NGC at MS 67 or above, you've struck numismatic gold. Mint state 67? That's the collector's dream. Such a coin shows nowhere from circulation, has exceptional eye appeal, and boasts sharp, clear details. These are the kinds of coins that serious collectors will bid fiercely over, and auction houses take full advantage of that frenzy. And yes, the moment you've been waiting for, one such 1991 no mint mark Lincoln penny, with the perfect storm of mint state condition, era features, and collector demand, recently sold at a staggering price that left the numismatic community speechless. The final hammer dropped. The auctioneer smiled. The coin was sold for $34,009. Yes, you heard that right. A 1-cent coin. Sold for $34,009. Let that sink in. A single penny, barely the size of a fingernail, once dismissed as pocket change or lost under couch cushions, became the centerpiece of a coin collection and fetched a price that could buy a brand new car, pay off debts, or fund an entire year of college. And who found it? Not a professional numismatist. Not a museum or a mint employee. But an ordinary person, just like you, someone who took a closer look at what everyone else ignored. This isn't just a story about a coin. It's a story about potential. It's a reminder that sometimes, the smallest things hold the greatest value. That with a little knowledge, a lot of curiosity, and a careful eye, you could discover something incredible, maybe even life-changing. So, what should you do now? Go grab your coin jar. Check your wallet. Dig through that box of pennies you've been ignoring. Look at the date. Look for the missing mint mark. Examine the details. Use a magnifying glass. If it looks different, shiny, air-filled, or simply unusual, hold on to it. Consider having it graded. Talk to a coin dealer. Do your research. And most of all, don't assume any penny is worthless until you know for sure. You might be holding a 1991 Lincoln penny with no mint mark that is worth more than some people's annual salary. That little copper coin could be your ticket to the Rare Coin Collectors Hall of Fame, or at the very least, a sizable payday. And don't forget, as we close out this incredible story, the price that made headlines wasn't just a few bucks. It wasn't even in the hundreds. It wasn't a modest $1,000 payout. That penny sold for $34,009. Welcome back, coin collectors, treasure hunters, and curious minds. Today, we have an exciting and shocking discovery to share with you, a humble coin that might be sitting quietly in your drawer, purse, or even your pocket right now, just waiting to change your life forever. You may think it's just another ordinary penny. You may have walked past it 100 times. But what if I told you that one specific version of the 1996 Lincoln penny, yes, the one with the D mint mark, could be worth a small fortune? So stay with me as we dive into the mysterious story, hidden history, and unbelievable current value of the 1996 D Lincoln 1-cent penny, a copper-clad coin that might just make you a whole lot richer than you ever imagined. This is not just another cent. This is not just a piece of copper. This is a hidden gem, a tiny, overlooked coin that could be worth tens of thousands of dollars. Let's unravel the story behind it, piece by piece. Let's start from the beginning. The Lincoln cent was introduced way back in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. It was the first circulating US coin to feature a real person, and not just any person, but one of the most iconic figures in American history. Over the years, the penny has gone through several changes, from its metal composition to the design on the reverse side. But the front, featuring Lincoln's profile, has remained largely the same. Now, let's jump forward to 1996. This year might seem unremarkable in terms of coins. After all, it was just another year of minting millions upon millions of Lincoln cents, right? Well, not exactly. Because within those millions of coins lies a secret. Something strange. Something valuable. Something that no one noticed at first. The 1996 Lincoln penny, minted in Denver, holds more mystery than most people ever realized. Now, why is this coin so special? Let's dig deeper. First, let's talk about the minting process. The US Mint uses dies to strike each coin. These dies press images onto metal blanks, transforming them into official currency. In 1996, the Denver Mint produced more than 6.5 billion Lincoln cents. That's billion. With AB.SO, how in the world can one single penny among billions be so rare? So valuable? Well, as any seasoned collector will tell you, sometimes the Mint makes mistakes. And sometimes, those mistakes are worth a fortune. But it's not just about errors. It's also about quality, rarity, and survival. Let's explore what makes the 1996 Lincoln penny so highly sought after. Now, if you go through your change and find a 1996 penny with AD under the date, that means it was minted in Denver. Most of them are worth just 1 cent, but a few, a tiny handful, are not ordinary. Some of these coins have been preserved in perfect condition since the day they were struck. These are the coins that were never circulated, never used to buy a soda, never tossed into a coin jar, never scraped across a store counter. Instead, they were carefully stored, protected, and graded, sometimes immediately after they left the mint. These are the coins that matter. These are the coins that fetch incredible prices. And it just so happens that one 1996 Lincoln penny, in nearly flawless condition, recently made headlines in the coin collecting world. But before we get to that number, that jaw-dropping dollar amount, let's explore a few things that can make a coin like this go from being worth a penny to being worth tens of thousands of dollars. The first factor is grade. Now, when we talk about coin grading, we're not talking about school grades. We're talking about the condition of the coin, how well it was preserved, how few marks or scratches it has, how sharp the strike is, and how much of its original luster remains. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70. And a coin graded MS70, that stands for Mint State 70, is as perfect as it gets. These are coins with no post-production imperfections visible under 5x magnification. That's rare. Extremely rare. Even coins that look shiny to the naked eye might only grade MS63 or MS-64.SO. When a 1996 penny gets graded at MS69 or higher, you know something special is happening. And that's where the magic begins. A high grade turns an ordinary penny into a collector's dream. The second factor is rarity. Now, remember, the Mint made billions of these coins. But how many were saved in flawless condition? How many were pulled from circulation on day one and preserved like treasure? Not many. In fact, only a few hundred, maybe even fewer, of the 1996 Lincoln cents have ever been graded above MS67. And only a handful have ever reached the highest tiers. So when one of these ultra-rare examples shows up at auction, collectors go crazy. They know the opportunity won't come again anytime soon, and they're willing to pay serious money to get their hands on one. But there's still one more piece of the puzzle. The third factor is demand. Lincoln pennies are among the most collected coins in the world, and for good reason. They're everywhere. They're iconic. They're accessible. They're part of American history. From kids just getting into coin collecting, to lifelong numismatists with decades of experience, everyone has a soft spot for the Lincoln cent. So when a rare, perfect, eye-popping example of a modern Lincoln penny appears, collectors want it. They want to add it to their set. They want to complete their collection. They want to own the best of the best. And that drives the price sky high. Because when demand meets rarity, you get record-breaking numbers. And that's exactly what happened with the 1990-60 Lincoln 1-cent penny. Let me take you now to a recent coin auction. The room was packed with collectors, dealers, investors. All eyes were on one little coin. It sat in a protective case, gleaming under the lights. A tiny copper-plated treasure, less than an inch across, but commanding the attention of the entire room. It had been graded MS69 red by a top grading service. That means it was nearly perfect. Red refers to the color, a bright, full, original copper red tone, untouched by age or handling, and it was one of the finest known examples of its kind. When the bidding began, it started small. A few $100s, then 1,000, then 5,000. But it didn't stop there. As the numbers climbed, the room got quieter. 10,000, 15, 25, then came the final bid, one that stunned even the most seasoned coin dealers in the room. Because that little penny, the same kind you might overlook in your pocket, sold for a staggering amount. But before I reveal that number, let's imagine for a moment, what if you had one just like it? What if that old penny you found in a jar turned out to be one of the rarest in the world? What if that dull copper coin was your golden ticket? That's the beauty of coin collecting. That's the magic of numismatics. Because treasures hide in plain sight, and only those who look closely ever find them. So here's what to do if you think you've found a 1990-60 penny that could be worth something. First, look at the condition. Is it shiny? Is it free of scratches, dings, or wear? Does it look like it just came from the mint? If so, that's a great start. Second, check for the D Mint mark, right under the year. That tells you it came from the Denver Mint. Third, consider getting it graded by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll authenticate it, grade it, and seal it in a tamper-proof holder, adding enormous value and trust for any potential buyer. Now, grading isn't free. But if your coin is the real deal, it could be worth every penny, and then some. And finally, keep your eyes open. Because rare coins are still out there. They're waiting to be found. They're hiding in rolls of pennies from the bank, in old jars at grandma's house, or even in your own pocket change, and you never know when you'll stumble upon one. Now, let's come back to that auction. After all the excitement, all the anticipation, all the bids, the final price of that 1990-60 Lincoln penny, the one that sent shockwaves through the collecting world, was not $100, not 1,000, not even 10,000. That one small copper coin, graded nearly perfect and preserved like a time capsule, was sold to the highest bidder for exactly $33,499. Yes, you heard that right. $33,499 for a single 1-cent coin. Let that sink in for a moment. From 1 cent to over $33,000. This is not a fantasy. This is real. And it's a reminder that the world of coins is full of hidden surprises, incredible stories, and life-changing opportunities. So the next time you find a penny on the ground, don't walk past it. The next time you empty your pockets and see a 1990-60, take a closer look, because it might just be the lucky coin that changes your life forever. Welcome back to the channel, coin lovers, treasure hunters, and collectors from around the world. Today, we're diving into a story that might just send you rushing to your piggy bank, your coin jar, or even your pocket change. Because hiding in plain sight could be a tiny copper treasure worth thousands of dollars. That's right, we're talking about the 2004 Lincoln 1-cent penny with the D Mint mark, and this little coin could turn your average day into an unforgettable one. You may have spent dozens of these without a second thought, tossed them in tip jars, or left them rattling at the bottom of your car. But what if we told you that one specific 2004 D penny has sold for a price that can literally change your week, maybe even your month? Stay with us, because this story is not just about a coin. It's about rarity, history, hidden errors, market obsession, and why one specific cent minted in Denver in 2004 has stunned collectors and dealers alike. Let's get into the copper-coated mystery of the 2004 D Lincoln penny, and why you should keep your eyes peeled every time you get change back. It all begins with a glance. A quick look at what seems to be just another ordinary coin. It's small, light, and copper-colored. You see Abraham Lincoln's familiar profile on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the back. But don't be fooled. Not all pennies are created equal. The 2004 Lincoln penny marked with a small d under the date was minted in Denver, Colorado, one of the United States Mint's major production facilities. That year, billions of pennies were produced across the Denver and Philadelphia mints combined. So why is this one so special? Why is one particular 2004 D penny not worth just 1 cent, but a staggering amount? Well, like all good mysteries, it starts with a twist, a minting twist. Every coin goes through an extremely precise minting process. From blank copper-plated zinc discs to powerful coin presses that strike the coin designs onto both sides, the U.S. Mint operates with mind-blowing accuracy. But once in a while, just once in a great while, something goes wrong. That's when mint errors occur. For collectors, mint errors are pure gold, or in this case, pure copper. These are coins that were accidentally misstruck, double-struck, off-center, or made using the wrong planchets or dies. And when it happens to a coin like the 2004 D penny, and when it's extremely rare, the value skyrockets. So let's talk about some of the rare errors and oddities found in 2004 D Lincoln cents that turned common coins into rare collectibles. One such known error involves the doubled die obverse, where Lincoln's image appears doubled, most noticeably in areas like the date, the words, "In God We Trust," and "Liberty." These errors can be subtle to the naked eye but become obvious under magnification, and collectors go wild for them. Then there are off-center strikes, where the coin's design was stamped off balance, sometimes with as much as 20% of the coin blank. The result? A coin that looks half-formed and bizarre, and highly desirable. There are also instances of broad strikes, where the coin expands outside its normal size because it wasn't struck within the collar that gives the penny its circular edge. These are less common and, when found in high-grade condition, can fetch surprising prices. But we're just warming up. What really changes everything for the 2004 D Lincoln penny is grade, the condition of the coin. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70 using a system known as the Sheldon scale. A coin graded MS70, mint state 70, is considered a perfect coin, no flaws, no scratches, no wear. It's the kind of coin you'd expect to see straight out of the mint, handled only with gloves, and never touched by human skin. Most coins in circulation are nowhere near that condition. They've been dropped, rubbed, exposed to moisture, and banged around in pockets and cash drawers. But once in a while, a coin survives untouched, and if that coin happens to be a rare error or from a limited batch, then its value can go through the roof. That's exactly what happened to one particular 2004 D penny. Now let's talk about the market, the world of auctions, coin dealers, and serious collectors. In recent years, interest in rare pennies has exploded. With more and more people diving into coin collecting as a hobby and even a side business, the demand for rare specimens has never been higher. Social media platforms, YouTube videos, and viral posts have drawn millions of new eyes to the world of numismatics, the study and collection of coins. The 2004 D penny we're talking about isn't just any era coin. It's a coin that was graded MS69 red, almost perfect, bright red luster, with an extremely rare die variety. That penny wasn't sold on a street corner or in a garage sale. It went under the hammer at a major coin auction, surrounded by veteran collectors, dealers, and investors. The bidding started modestly, but then something incredible happened. With each passing minute, the bids climbed. $5,000, $8,000, $12,000. The room was buzzing. Phones were ringing. Dealers were texting their clients, and the crowd leaned in. When the final gavel dropped, the room went silent. The winning bid had crossed the threshold into something absolutely astonishing. Let's pause for a moment. If you're wondering, could I have one of these pennies sitting in a jar somewhere? The answer is, maybe. It's unlikely, yes. But it's not impossible. And here's why. The 2004 D penny is not a proof coin. It wasn't intended as a special collector's edition. It came from general circulation, just like any other penny. That means you didn't need to be a dealer or buy an expensive mint set to have one. You could have received it as change at the grocery store. You could have picked it up off the sidewalk. It could have been sitting unnoticed in your change jar for years. If your penny is in great condition, and if it has a mint error, a unique variety, or is uncirculated and red-toned, it could be worth far more than 1 cent. So how can you tell if your 2004 D penny is valuable? Here's what you need to look for. Check the mint mark. It must be the small d under the year 2004, indicating it was minted in Denver. Inspect the coin for doubling, especially around the date. Liberty, or In God We Trust. Look for off-center designs or unusual shapes. Is the penny oddly shaped, too wide, or missing part of the image? Color and condition. Is the coin bright red, with a shiny finish? If so, it may be uncirculated. Is there any wear or scratches? That will lower the value, but not always rule it out completely. Use a magnifying glass. Some features, like double die errors or repunched mint marks, can't be spotted without magnification. Compare with certified examples. Go online and search for high-grade 2004 D pennies that have sold. You'll see what features make those coins so valuable. Consider professional grading. If your coin looks promising, you might want to send it to a professional grading company like PCGS or NGC. A certified grade can drastically increase your coin's value. Now let's imagine for a second. You're sorting through your change one evening. Maybe you're bored, maybe you're just curious. You notice a penny that seems cleaner, brighter. You flip it over. 2004 D mint mark. You hold it up to the light. Could this be it? Could you be holding the exact kind of coin that made collectors lose their minds at auction? It's happened before, and it could happen again. People have found valuable coins in the most unexpected places. In sock drawers, at flea markets, even stuck in couch cushions. You don't need to be an expert. You just need to pay attention, because while most pennies are only worth 1 cent, this very specific 2004 D Lincoln penny, proved that sometimes the smallest things hide the biggest surprises. And now, the moment you've been waiting for. How much was that rare, high-grade, almost perfect 2004 D penny worth? Drumroll, please. That penny sold for an unbelievable $20,388 at auction. Yes, you heard that right. One single penny. $20,388 US, from 1 cent to over 20 grand. All because of a little D mark, a little error, and a whole lot of copper-colored history. So the next time you get change from a vending machine or dig through a drawer, remember, every penny has a story. And some of them are worth far more than you'd ever imagine. Thanks for watching. Welcome back, treasure hunters, coin collectors, and curious minds across the globe. Today, we are diving deep into the mystery, the legacy, and the jaw-dropping value behind a coin that most people would never look at twice. It's a coin you've likely held in your hand without realizing what it could be worth today. We're talking about none other than the 2007 no mint mark Lincoln 1 cent penny. A seemingly ordinary coin that could secretly be worth a small fortune. So stay tuned till the very end, because we're going to uncover the hidden history, the unique features, and the market demand behind this incredible coin, and finally reveal why one of these pennies was sold for a whopping $19,588. Grab your penny jars, folks, because one of these just might change your life. Let's begin. Our story starts in the year 2007. A year that most people remember for things like the first iPhone, the final Harry Potter book, and economic uncertainty just before the Great Recession. But in the world of coins, something quietly rolled off the minting presses that would later make headlines for collectors. It was the 2007 Lincoln 1 cent coin, the last generation of the Lincoln Memorial reverse design before the historic shift to the Lincoln bicentennial coins in 2009. At first glance, the coin looked just like millions of others. A small copper-plated zinc disc, featuring President Abraham Lincoln's bust on the obverse, with the iconic Lincoln Memorial design on the reverse. But hidden among the billions of these coins released into circulation were a few rare specimens, coins without any visible mint mark. Now you might be thinking, what's the big deal about a missing mint mark? Well, in the world of coin collecting, mint marks are everything. They tell us where a coin was produced. A D means it came from Denver. ANS typically indicates San Francisco. Used mostly for proof coins, and if there's no mint mark, that usually means it was minted in Philadelphia. But not always. And that, right there, is where the story gets interesting. The Philadelphia Mint is the oldest mint facility in the United States. For much of its early history, it didn't use a mint mark at all. But starting in more modern times, mint marks became a standard feature. Especially for collectors and inventory purposes. So when you come across a coin from 2007 with no mint mark, your first instinct might be, okay, it's from Philly. No big deal. But here's the twist. In 2007, certain errors and unique varieties of the no mint mark Lincoln penny were produced, either due to die polishing mistakes, die clashes, or planchet flaws. Some were double die errors. Some had off-center strikes. Others had floating roof errors, ghost letters, and more. These weren't just ordinary coins, they were accidental masterpieces, the result of small imperfections in the minting process that gave birth to coins that collectors would later pay thousands of dollars for. One example that has stunned the collector's world involves a double die obverse, where the lettering, especially "In God We Trust" and "Liberty," appears shadowed or doubled. Another variation, the floating roof, where the roof of the Lincoln Memorial appears to be detached from its pillars due to overpolished dies. And still more bizarre errors include misaligned dies, struck through grease errors, and coins with weak or vanishing dates. Now here's the important part. These errors were not widespread. They were few and far between, which makes them highly sought after by collectors. Let's talk numbers for a moment. The U.S. Mint reports that more than 3.7 billion Lincoln cents were struck in 2007 across all mint locations. Out of these, approximately 3.6 billion were struck in Philadelphia alone, hence the no mint mark. So yes, most of these coins are incredibly common. You can still find them in circulation today, dirty, dingy, and passed around without a second thought. But among those billions are the rare variations, the 1 in a million errors, the ones that have been graded, certified, and listed in coin auctions with sky-high final prices. And what makes a penny worth thousands? Let's break it down. Rarity. The less common the error, the higher the value. Condition. A pristine, uncirculated coin in mint state can drastically increase the value. Grading. Coins that are professionally graded by services like PCGS or NGC often fetch more money. Error type. A dramatic, easily visible error will draw more attention than a minor one. Collector demand. The more collectors are searching for that type of error, the more the value rises. Now here's where things get exciting. In recent years, auctions and online marketplaces have seen a surge in demand for rare Lincoln penny errors, especially from the mid-2000s. Coin enthusiasts on platforms like eBay, Heritage Auctions, Great Collections, and Stax Bowers have documented multiple listings of 2007 no mint mark Lincoln pennies selling for hundreds, even thousands of dollars. One such auction listing drew international attention when a 2007 no mint mark penny, certified by PCGS and labeled as a dramatic off-center strike error, was auctioned off to a private collector. The final hammer price? $19,588. Yes, you heard that right. A coin that probably cost less than a gumball to make. A penny that could have been lying at the bottom of someone's drawer ended up selling for a price that could buy a brand new car or cover an entire year of college tuition. And that, my friends, is why we say, check your change. So how do you know if the penny in your pocket is a hidden treasure? Here are the top things to look for. Doubling on the obverse letters, especially check "In God We Trust, Liberty," and the date. Use a jeweler's loupe or digital microscope. Floating roof error. Look at the roof of the Lincoln Memorial. If it seems detached or floating, with no visible support columns, it could be valuable. Off-center strike. If part of the design is cut off or misaligned, it's a minting error. Struck through grease, blurred, or missing parts of the design caused by debris during striking. Clipped, planchet, or elliptical shape. The coin may not be perfectly round, a rare and very collectible flaw. High-grade surface. If the coin looks shiny and flawless, it may be uncirculated, and worth grading. If you find one of these characteristics, do not spend the coin. Instead, do the following: handle it carefully, use gloves if possible, and avoid touching the surfaces. Photograph it clearly. Take high-resolution close-up shots of the error. Compare it to known varieties. Visit resources like pcgs.com or Variety Vista. Consider grading. Submit the coin to a professional grading service to get it certified. Join coin forums. Sites like CoinTalk or Reddit's r/coins are great for getting opinions. Explore auctions. You may find that others have sold similar coins, giving you an idea of potential value. The truth is, coins like the 2007 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny are a reminder of something powerful. That even the smallest things we take for granted every day, can hold extraordinary worth. If we know where to look. While billions of 2007 pennies are out there, most are only worth a cent, but a few rare errors, those special flukes of minting history, are true treasures. And they're hiding in plain sight. At flea markets.in, old piggy banks.at, garage sales.in, your change jar at home. And if you happen to find one, if you're lucky enough to spot the right error, in the right condition, at the right time, you could be looking at a coin that sells for $19,588. That's not a typo. That's not a dream. That's a real story. A real sale. A real penny. So before you toss your coins in a parking meter, before you slide one across the counter at a store, or give your child a handful for fun, take a second look, because you never know. The next great treasure might be sitting in your pocket. Thanks for watching, fellow treasure hunters. If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of America's rarest modern penny mysteries, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss another chance to discover hidden wealth. In everyday places, share this video with your friends. You might just help someone realize they're holding onto a fortune without even knowing it. Until next time. Welcome back, treasure hunters and curious minds, to another gripping journey into the world of pocket change turned gold mine. Today's episode might just send you rushing to your piggy bank, your coin jar, or even your old wallet stashed in the back of a drawer. Why? Because we're about to uncover the incredible story behind a modern-day marvel, the 2008 no-mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny. Yes, a penny from just a few years ago that might be hiding in plain sight. A single copper-colored coin that, if you're lucky enough, could be worth more than your car, or even a year of rent. Sound unbelievable? It's not. Stay tuned, because by the end of this video, you'll know why this unassuming little coin is shocking collectors, breaking expectations, and making headlines in the world of numismatics. Let's rewind the clock to the year 2008. The world was going through change. The economy was shaking. Banks were failing. Gas prices were through the roof. And amid all that chaos, the United States Mint continued business as usual, minting billions of coins for circulation, including the Lincoln 1-cent penny. 2008 marked the final full year of what collectors now call the Lincoln Memorial Reverse, the design that showed the iconic Lincoln Memorial on the back of the coin, a design that had been in use since 1959. It was the tail end of a 50-year run for this artwork, which itself had replaced the earlier, wheat ears, reverse introduced in 1909, Lincoln's centennial birth year. In short, 2008 wasn't just another mint year, it was the last hurrah for a classic American coin design. But few people realized then that some of these pennies, minted with little fanfare, would soon make history. Let's get one thing out of the way. The 2008 Lincoln penny was produced in massive numbers. Over 5.4 billion coins were minted that year. That's billions with a B. So what, you may ask, could possibly make one of those pennies, the kind we hand over for gum or leave abandoned in cup holders, so special, so extraordinary, that collectors are now paying thousands of dollars for it? Well, not all coins are created equal. Let's take a closer look at this little copper underdog. Most people don't even give it a second glance. The 2008 Lincoln cent weighs just 2.5 grams. It's composed mostly of zinc with a thin copper coating, a composition that's been in use since 1982, after rising copper prices made solid copper cents too expensive to produce. The obverse, or head side, shows the familiar profile of President Abraham Lincoln, just as it has for over a century. The reverse features the Lincoln Memorial, a striking neoclassical building with hidden details. If you look closely with a magnifying glass, you can even see a tiny seated statue of Lincoln within the memorial, a tribute to his real-life monument in Washington, D.C. above the memorial. United States of America. Below, 1 cent. And the national motto, E pluribus unum, sprawled across the top. All familiar, all expected. But the true magic, or mystery, of the 2008 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny isn't in the design. It's in the details. Or rather, the flaws, the oddities, and the unexplained features that make a handful of these coins worth more than some people earn in a month. Let's talk about no-mint mark. What does that mean? Coins in the United States are produced at various mints, Philadelphia, Denver, San Francisco, and West Point being the main ones. Most coins carry a small letter near the date to show where they were minted. For example, a D means Denver, an S stands for San Francisco, and a W indicates West Point. But if a penny has no letter at all, it usually comes from the Philadelphia Mint. Since the early 1980s, Philly pennies have typically been released without any mint mark. So a 2008 penny with no mint mark isn't automatically rare. But here's where things get interesting. Not all no-mint mark pennies are the same. In the case of the 2008 Lincoln penny, collectors began to notice that certain examples, all from the Philadelphia Mint and all with no mint mark, seemed different. Some had unusually sharp detail in Lincoln's hair and coat, almost like they were struck with proof dyes. Tools used to make high-quality collector coins. Others showed doubling, where certain letters or numbers appear to have a ghostly shadow, a highly prized error known as doubling, or doubling die. This error can appear in words like liberty, or in God we trust. Even more exciting? A few coins showed unusual die cracks, raised lines that streak across the surface of the coin like veins of treasure. Others had off-center strikes, where Lincoln's portrait was pushed to one side, exposing blank copper on the edge. And still more exhibited an odd woodgrain appearance called woodies, caused by improper mixing of the coin's metals. Each of these oddities added character. Each defect made the coin more desirable. And over time, savvy collectors began hunting 2008 no-mint mark pennies like prospectors once hunted gold. But not every collector was after mistakes. Some were looking for perfection. You see, when coins leave the mint, they're not always in mint condition. They get scratched, banged up, tarnished. But occasionally, a few coins survive in pristine condition, flawless, shining, untouched. These are graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC, on a scale from 1 to 70. A perfect 70, especially for a common coin, is extremely rare. So imagine the frenzy when a 2008 no-mint Mark Lincoln Cent, graded at a near-perfect level, started attracting offers. Not tens, not hundreds, but thousands. And here's where the story takes a sharp turn. One collector, browsing a coin show in the Midwest, came across a small velvet-lined case holding what looked like any other penny. A dull copper disc, aged with time, but with striking features, sharp lines, full steps on the Lincoln Memorial, flawless surface, and, most notably, no mint mark. The seller, unaware of what he had, priced it at just a few dollars. But the buyer, armed with a loupe and decades of experience, saw something extraordinary. He immediately purchased the coin, sent it off for grading, and a few weeks later the results came back, MS69RED.A, an astonishing grade for a modern penny. Only a handful had ever reached that level for the 2008 no-mint Mark Lincoln Cent. And with the news came offers. Collectors wanted it. Auction houses inquired. Numismatic blogs lit up. Soon, the coin was featured in a rare coin auction, and what happened next stunned everyone. After heated bidding between several high-profile collectors, the final hammer fell. The sale price? $14,588. That's right. A single 1 cent coin sold for more than $14,000. And since then, the legend has only grown. More people began to search. Coin enthusiasts combed through their collections. Young collectors dug through pocket change. Some found pennies with die cracks. Others spotted doubling. A lucky few even found nearly mint condition examples stashed in coin rolls, bank boxes, and grandma's old change purse. The 2008 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny became a phenomenon. It proved that you don't have to be a millionaire to strike it rich. Sometimes, all it takes is an eye for detail, a bit of patience, and a little copper coin hiding in plain sight. Even today, 2008 pennies turn up in ordinary circulation. They're not extinct. They're not locked away. But finding the right one, the one with the error, the flaw, the immaculate grade, that's where the treasure lies. So what should you look for? Start by checking the date, 2008. Make sure there's no mint mark under the year. Then, examine Lincoln's portrait. Look at the eyes, the nose, the coat, and especially the hair. Look for doubling in the lettering. Use a magnifier. Check the edges. Look at the memorial. Are the lines sharp? Are there cracks? Is anything off center? And if you think you've found something, don't rush to spend it. Get it appraised. Send it to a grading service. You might just be holding a small fortune in your hand. Coin collecting isn't just about the money. It's about the history. The hunt. The thrill of discovering something rare in the ordinary. Every coin has a story, and some, like the 2008 no-mint Mark penny, have chapters still being written. So keep searching. Keep flipping those pennies. Because somewhere, out there, another 1-cent treasure is waiting to be found. And if you're wondering what that one special coin, that flawless, nearly perfect 2008 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny sold for. Welcome back, treasure hunters and coin enthusiasts. You're in for a surprise today. A small copper-colored coin that might just be hiding in your change jar, glove compartment, or even your old piggy bank could be worth thousands of dollars. That's right. We're talking about the mysterious 2011 Lincoln 1-cent coin, the one with no mint mark. At first glance, this penny looks just like any other. Ordinary. Common. Easy to overlook. But today, we're going to uncover the hidden story behind this small coin, a story full of history, rarity, collector obsession, and a jaw-dropping value that might just change the way you look at pennies forever. So grab your magnifying glass and stay tuned. You won't believe what makes the 2011 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny so special, and how one just sold for an amount that could buy you a car, a college semester, or even a small piece of real estate. Let's rewind a bit. In 2011, the United States Mint struck billions of Lincoln pennies. Most came from two major mints, Philadelphia and Denver. The Philadelphia ones, as usual, came with no mint mark, while Denver pieces carried the small d below the date. So you might be thinking, wait, aren't all Philadelphia pennies no mint mark? That's not rare at all, and you'd be right. In general, that's true. But here's the twist: sometimes, within these enormous batches, error coins slip through, rare minting flaws, odd planchets, off strikes, double dies. And when those combine with a specific year and mint, suddenly, the most ordinary penny becomes an object of extreme desire. In the case of the 2011 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny, something special happened. Several examples were discovered that showed crisp, clear doubling in the lettering. Others had striking anomalies in the shield design on the reverse. And some collectors started spotting high-grade examples, preserved perfectly from circulation, untouched, unscathed, in brilliant uncirculated condition. These coins, particularly those rated MS67 or above by coin grading companies like PCGS or NGC, began selling for unusually high amounts. But here's the wild part: as these sales surfaced, so did the mystery. Why are some 2011 no-mint Mark pennies commanding such high prices while others are ignored? Well, it all comes down to a few key details that experts are always watching. Minting quality, die condition, rarity of error, and most of all, demand from collectors. See the 2011 Lincoln penny features the Union Shield on the reverse, a design that started in 2010. It symbolizes the unity of the United States, 13 vertical stripes joined by a single horizontal bar. For many collectors, this was a modern yet historic design transition, and the 2011 penny became a kind of sweet spot, modern enough to be found in the wild, yet old enough to develop rare high-quality survivors and minting errors. And here's what really drove the price up. In 2019, a near-perfect condition 2011 no-mint mark Lincoln penny was submitted to PCGS.it, came back with a grade of MS68 red, one of the highest possible for any modern cent. That single penny shocked the market by selling for a price that sent waves through the coin community. That coin, a tiny piece of copper-plated zinc weighing just 2.5 grams, sold for $13,111. Yes, a single penny. Not silver. Not gold. Just one ordinary-looking coin that was struck with extraordinary perfection. And what's even crazier? There could be more out there, right now, in your pocket, your drawer, or your coin jar. Because unlike coins that were recalled, melted, or lost to time, the 2011 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is still in circulation. That means there's a chance, even if it's slim, that you could find one today. Imagine flipping over a penny, noticing that rich, reddish gleam, and realizing it has no scratches. No wear. Sharp lettering. Bold luster. You send it in to be graded, the results come back, MS67. Or maybe, just maybe, MS68. You listed at auction. And just like that, a 1-cent coin turns into a 5-figure payday. It's happened before. It'll happen again. The only question is, who will find the next one? So if you're watching this and you're a collector, or even just someone who enjoys a little treasure hunt, start checking your change. Look closely. Point 2011. Lincoln. No mint mark, sharp edges. Clean surfaces. No signs of circulation. That could be your golden, or copper, ticket. And for those wondering if it's worth checking every penny you come across, the answer is a loud, resounding yes. Because even though it may only be worth a cent to most people, to the right collector, under the right conditions, the 2011 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is worth exactly $13,111. Thanks for watching. Coin family! Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with your fellow collectors. You never know who might be sitting on a tiny fortune. Happy hunting, and we'll see you in the next video. Welcome back to the channel, coin lovers, collectors, and curious treasure hunters. Today, we're diving into the unbelievable story of a modern-day coin that might just be sitting unnoticed in your pocket, your piggy bank, or that old jar on your grandma's shelf. Yes, we're talking about the 2016 no-mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny. A coin so common-looking, most people wouldn't think twice before tossing it into a vending machine. But let me tell you something, there's a reason collectors all across the United States are scrambling to find the rare ones. Because a specific variation of this humble 2016 penny has shocked the coin community with its unexpected, staggering value. So stay with us until the end of this video, because you might just discover that you're holding onto a tiny copper treasure worth more than your entire coin jar combined. Let's begin this fascinating journey with a quick history refresher. The Lincoln cent has been a staple of American currency since 1909. Originally released to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, it replaced the Indian head penny and became the first U.S. coin to feature a real person. For more than a century, the Lincoln penny has evolved, in its design, in its metal composition, and in the stories hidden within each minting year. Now let's zoom in on the year 2016. At first glance, it seems like a routine year for the Lincoln penny. These coins were minted in massive quantities and flooded the market like any other year. Millions came from the Denver Mint, which you'll identify by the D Mint mark. Others were produced at the Philadelphia Mint. But here's the twist. The Philadelphia Mint didn't use a mint mark on the penny that year. So when you see a 2016 penny with no mint mark under the year, it means it came from Philadelphia. And that's not rare by itself. But within that enormous batch of Philadelphia minted coins, something fascinating occurred. A small number of coins came out with minting errors. And that's where the story takes a turn. Collectors and experts noticed a strange pattern. Some 2016 no-mint mark Lincoln pennies had anomalies, double dies, off-center strikes, die cracks, and surface flaws that only appeared in a tiny fraction of the coins. Some even had doubling on Lincoln's eye on the words, "In God We Trust," or on the date itself. When these rare varieties hit the market, coin collectors took notice. And they didn't just notice. They paid. In the world of coin collecting, condition is everything. A rare error combined with excellent preservation, like a grade of MS67 or higher, transforms a common coin into a high-value collectible. And that's exactly what happened here. The 2016 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny, when found in pristine uncirculated condition and featuring the right error, became a hot commodity. Bidding wars broke out. Coin auctions that usually featured silver dollars or gold pieces began showcasing this unsuspecting penny as a star attraction. Collectors were shelling out hundreds, even thousands, to own one. So let's talk about the current market value. While most 2016 pennies are still worth 1 cent, the ultra-rare versions, especially those with verified errors and top condition grading, have reached jaw-dropping prices. And now, here's the moment you've been waiting for. One such 2016 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny, in flawless mint state and verified as an error coin, recently sold for $3,111. Yes, that's right. A single penny from 2016. With no mint mark, worth more than $3,000. So what does this mean for you? It means you should check your change, dig through your penny jars, take a second look at every 2016 penny with no mint mark. Use a magnifying glass, examine the details, look closely at Lincoln's face, the lettering, and the date. If anything looks slightly off, even just a little different from the rest, you might be holding something special. And if it's in excellent condition, you could be looking at a hidden gem worth hundreds, maybe thousands. Coin collecting is no longer just a hobby for experts and enthusiasts. With stories like this one, it's becoming a real-life treasure hunt. And the best part? Anyone can take part. You don't need to be rich or own rare 1800 silver dollars to score big. Sometimes, all it takes is a penny. 1 penny, overlooked by the world, but worth its weight in gold. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like this video if you found it helpful, and subscribe to stay up to date on all the rare coins that could change your life. You never know, the next $1 million penny might already be in your hands. Until next time, happy hunting! Today, we're diving into one of the most surprising stories in the world of modern coin collecting. We're talking about the humble 2020 no-mint Mark Lincoln 1 cent penny, a coin you might already have in your pocket, your car cup holder, or buried in a change jar somewhere at home. But what if I told you that this ordinary-looking penny has been selling for up to $1.87? Yes, you heard that right. This isn't an old coin from the 1800s. This is a penny minted just a few years ago. And right now, it's making headlines in the collector market for its shocking value. Today, we'll explore why this coin is so special, how to identify a valuable one, and how you could turn your spare change into serious cash. So grab a magnifying glass, dig out your change jar, and stay with me till the end. Because this is one penny you do not want to overlook. Let's begin. The Lincoln cent has been a part of American currency since 1909, when it was introduced to commemorate the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. Over the years, it has gone through several reverse design changes, but one thing has remained constant: Lincoln's iconic profile on the obverse, designed by Victor David Brenner. Now fast forward to 2020. The penny still featured Lincoln's bust on the front, and on the back, a Union shield design, first introduced in 2010. This shield represents Lincoln's legacy of preserving the Union, even during the most divided time in American history. But what makes the 2020 no-mint mark version so important? Most pennies minted in Philadelphia, the oldest U.S. mint, do not have a mint mark. That's why your 2020 penny might appear without a D, Denver, or an S, San Francisco. It's not an error, it simply means it was struck in Philadelphia. However, not all 2020 no-mint mark pennies are created equal. And that's where the story gets interesting. Why some are worth over $4,000. Let's get straight to the burning question. What makes a 1 cent coin from 2020 worth $4,187? It comes down to 4 major factors. 1. Condition. Grade. The highest selling 2020 penny was professionally graded as MS67RD. That means mint state 67 red. Coins graded this high are in nearly perfect condition, with vibrant red luster, razor-sharp detail, and absolutely no signs of wear or handling. Point 2. Rarity of the grade. Even though millions of these coins were produced, very few survive in flawless condition. The higher the grade, the rarer it becomes, and the more collectors are willing to pay. Point 3. Mint errors. Errors make coins unique. A 2020 penny with a striking error or doubling can raise its value from a few cents to hundreds or thousands of dollars, even if it's not in perfect condition. Point 4. Demand in the market. Believe it or not, the 2025 coin market is booming. Collectors are hunting for newer coins with high grades and unusual errors, and that demand is driving prices sky-high. In fact, a 2020 penny graded MS67RD by PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, sold for an astonishing $4,187 at auction. That's over 418,000 times its face value. Errors that could make your penny valuable. Here's the fun part. Checking for errors. 2020 was a year full of strange anomalies at the US Mint. As a result, many error coins slipped through the cracks, and lucky collectors are cashing in. Here are a few known error types to look for in your 2020 no mint mark pennies. 1. Double die verse, DDO. Check Lincoln's eye ear and the inscriptions. In God we trust, liberty. And the date. 2020. If you notice any doubling in the letters or features, you may be holding a rare double die penny worth hundreds. Point 2. Off-center strikes. These occur when the coin isn't properly aligned during the minting process. Some 2020 pennies have been found with 10 to 50% off-center strikes, and they've sold for $100 to $600, depending on the severity. Point 3. BI error. This is a die break that appears between the letters B and E in the word liberty. It creates the illusion of an I between the two letters, hence the nickname BIE. These quirky errors are popular among collectors. Point 4. Die cracks and cuds. Look for raised, jagged lines or blobs of extra metal on the coin's surface, especially around Lincoln's head or the rim. These are caused by cracked or damaged dies. Some coins with dramatic cuds have fetched big bucks. Even if your penny has wear or is circulated, the presence of one of these errors can skyrocket its value. How to search for valuable 2020 pennies. So, how can you check if you've struck gold, or at least $4,000 copper? Here are the steps. Step 1. Gather your change. Look in your wallet, purse, junk drawers, car cup holders, couch cushions. Anywhere loose change may be hiding. Step 2. Check the date and mint mark. Look for 2020 pennies without any mint mark. That means they're from Philadelphia and could be one of the valuable varieties. Step 3. Examine closely. Use a jeweler's loupe or a coin magnifier. Pay close attention to the inscriptions, Lincoln's eye, and any off-center strikes or raised lines. Step 4. Assess condition. A bright red luster with no scratches or fingerprints can mean a high grade and a high value. Step 5. Verify with reputable sources. Use websites like PCGS, Coinfax, NGC, or eBay's sold listings to compare. See what similar coins are selling for. If your coin looks promising, consider getting it professionally graded. Remember, professional grading from services like PCGS or NGC can drastically increase your coin's market value and trustworthiness among buyers. Real market sales and current value in 2025. Let's talk real money. As of this year, collectors have paid big money for rare 2020 pennies. Some of the most notable sales include $4,187 for a PCGS graded MS67RD, $600 for a dramatic off-center strike with a strong red finish, $300 for a coin with a bold DDO visible to the naked eye, $200, $300 for MS66RD. Examples without errors, just near perfect condition. And here's the kicker. Because 2020 is still relatively recent, these prices could go even higher as fewer high-grade specimens appear in circulation. The demand for pristine modern coins is only increasing. So what have we learned? The 2020 no mint mark Lincoln penny may look like just another cent, but it could be a hidden treasure worth thousands. With a little patience, attention to detail, and a magnifying glass, you could uncover a coin that changes your financial life. Here's what to remember. Look for high grades, MS65 or higher, preferably red RD. Search for mint errors, doubling, off-center strikes, cuds, or die breaks. Always handle coins carefully by the edges when in doubt. Get it graded professionally, and above all, never overlook your pocket change. Coin collecting isn't just a hobby, it's a hunt. And sometimes, the smallest discoveries lead to the biggest rewards. If you enjoyed this video, give it a big thumbs up, share it with your fellow collectors, and hit that subscribe button so you never miss the next treasure hunting tip. And remember, the next penny you find could be worth more than your entire wallet. Thanks for watching.